In the Old Testament, the tithe was not money. Old Testament, the priest, now the prophet could own stuff, but the priest, where you'd bring the tithe, couldn't own anything. No property, nothing. And so the priest would pray that Israel would thrive. Jesus said to the Pharisees he said, you do things strange with money. You call something Corban. You call something Corban and you say it belongs to God. But you eat out of it and you take it for whatever you want, but you won't lend it to your mother or give it to your father because you say this is sacred to God. But at the same time, he says, but you tithe every single thing. See, in the Old Testament, the priest, now the prophet could own stuff, but the priest, where you'd bring the tithe, couldn't own anything. No property, nothing. And so the priest would pray that Israel would thrive. And the tithe was not money. The tithe was different livestock, various things like that. And so here come the sheep. The sheep, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And the 10th one is the one you'd give. Now, sometimes the 10th one was the biggest, fattest one. So they'd skip the 10th one and give the 11th one or the 9th one. So it was always something going on with tithing, with giving, with releasing things, because that is really the biggest test. The biggest test is how good you'll be to someone around you. How much you love people, how generous you are in spirit. That's the biggest test. It ain't adultery and fornication and homosexuality, lesbianism. You all know, sin when you see it. I'll walk in here and bump you in the face. It ain't no question as to whether the bishop is saved or not. He either got mad and hit me. Where's his control? That's all of that stuff. That don't scare the church. Sin don't bother the church. I'm telling you, what bothers the church is false teaching. It is the most destructive, because you can't deceive me with a man lying to me all the time. He's a liar. You run around, got 3, 4 women, they ain't taking care of none of them. Who's making love to your old lady when you out making love? The truth is, we know sin. But it is that subtle deception in teaching to make somebody believe it's God when it's them. You got to have the atmosphere. And then if you're preaching health, wealth, and prosperity and big money coming from God, you got to show it. You can't run up here in no Pinto and tell me God's going to really make you rich. You got to come up here if you even borrow the Rolls Royce. You got to roll, and then here we go with deception again. Then you're going to make me feel bad because I don't have a Mercedes Benz, but now you're going to make me feel like I got to get a Mercedes Benz to prove to the church, to the people of God, that I'm blessed. But if you're going to give